Mantieni l'ordine.
Bougez pas, bande de fils de pute! Le premier qui bouge, il défonce son entière!
Ah ouais, parce que je me disais quel rapport avec serveur.
En sortie.
C'est mon chaîne. Cherchez la méthode.
Banyak orang bilang, pertemuan itu cuma satu langkah dari perpisahan. Kayak nggak mungkin ada probabilitas lain yang keluar dari takdir alam bawah sadar kita. Sebelum kamu pergi, aku ingin mengutarakan satu cerita paling berkesan dari ribuan memori yang kita lalui. Kamu siap? Kamu ingat? Waktu kita selesai nonton film La Vie en Rose di salah satu pemutaran alternatif. Kita berdua tergila-gila sampai hafal beberapa dialog dari film itu. Kamu selalu mengambil dialog favorit aku dari babak akhir film itu. Redoutez-vous la mort? Lalu aku menjawab, moi, la solitude. Lalu kamu melanjutkan pertanyaan lagi. Pertanyaan ini yang entah kenapa aku tidak pernah bisa menjawabnya. Priez-vous? Oh iya. Aku juga masih ingat waktu kamu bertingkah seperti anak kecil yang memaksa untuk dibelikan mainan. Kamu memaksa kita untuk pergi ke Champs-Élysées di Paris. Seolah perjalanannya bisa ditempuh pakai mobil butut aku. Je me baladais sur l'avenue, la cœur ouvert à l'inconnu. J'avais envie de dire bonjour à n'importe qui. Et ce fut toi, je t'ai dit n'importe quoi. Il suffisait de te parler pour t'apprivoiser. Oh, Champs-Élysées. Oh, Champs-Élysées.
Action.
Tujuh dari 10.
Di sini juga punya banyak.
Halo, bonjour, selamat siang semuanya. Selamat siang teman-teman penonton film dan penggemar Festival Sinema Prancis, para media, rekanan Festival Sinema Prancis, serta tim IV yang dari tadi bolak-balik kiri kanan, dan selama sebulan ini kayaknya kurang tidur untuk mengerjakan festival ini. Saya Menina Putri Wismurti, Festival Co-Director dari Europe On Screen dan juga Kepala Film Program 100% Manusia Film Festival, senang sekali bisa bertemu dengan kalian semua di hari ini. Waduh, nggak kerasa ya, sudah 30 hari berlalu sejak saya hadir sebagai moderator di acara ini. Terutama kemarin saya membukanya di awal bulan, dan sekalian kayak seperti lingkaran utuh, saya kembali bersama kalian dan akan bersama kalian selama sejam ke depan dalam acara penutupan Festival Sinema Prancis ini. Nah, kali ini kita akan ngobrol bareng dengan tamu istimewa, Bapak François Ivernel, seorang produser film dari Prancis yang karyanya Slumdog Millionnaire dulu juga pernah diputar di Indonesia. Pasti kalian sudah pernah tahu tentang film tersebut. Dan juga beliau kini menjadi produser dari serial TV Prancis yang unik dan lucu sekali berjudul OVNI. Jangan tanya saya kepanjangannya apa, yang saya tahu itu artinya cuma UFO, kepanjangannya sama dengan UFO, yaitu Unidentified Flying Objects, cuma dalam bahasa Prancis. Terima kasih juga saya ucapkan buat para penonton setia yang sudah menonton 17 film terpilih di Festival Sinema Prancis dan juga 1 serial TV Prancis yang semuanya diterjemahkan dalam bahasa Indonesia dan bisa ditonton di Mola TV. Juga untuk para rekanan festival yang sudah mendukung Festival Sinema Prancis tahun ini, seperti Mola TV, terima kasih atas kerjasamanya, serta untuk long time partner seperti L'Oréal, TV Zangmong, France Vancard, dan yang dari dulu selalu mendukung Festival Sinema Prancis, karena dulu ketika saya masih mengerjakan Festival Sinema Prancis juga selalu ada nama-nama ini yang selalu hadir di setiap goodie bag, di setiap poster, di setiap acara di Festival Sinema Prancis di IV. Nah, sebelum kita mulai webinar ini, sesi ini, izinkan saya menjelaskan sedikit teknisnya. Mohon diperhatikan juga bahwa sesi ini direkam dan ditayangkan secara langsung di kanal YouTube TV. Jadi kalau kalian ingin nonton dari YouTube mungkin sambil di dalam kendaraan umum, nggak bisa depan Zoom, silakan bisa langsung lihat di sana. Lalu juga acara penutupan festival ini sendiri akan berlangsung dalam bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris. Mengingat bahasa Perancis saya itu sudah karatan, jadi saya harus les lagi nih di IV kayaknya karena hancur bahasa Perancisnya. Nah, bila Anda ingin bertanya, Anda bisa langsung memasukkan ke kolom Q&A di bawah layar Anda. Pertanyaannya bisa dalam bahasa Indonesia dan saya akan bantu menerjemahkan ke dalam bahasa Inggris, bukan bahasa Prancis ya. Jangan malu untuk bertanya, karena buat penanya terbaik akan mendapatkan hadiah dari IV dan Mola TV. Pertanyaan Anda pun akan dijawab oleh Bapak François di sesi terakhir acara ini. Nah, sebelumnya aku ingin introduce sedikit, memperkenalkan sedikit tentang tamu kita. François Ivernel ini tamu kehormatan kita untuk menutup Festival Sinema Prancis. Beliau seperti yang sudah saya katakan sebelumnya adalah seorang produser film asal Prancis yang juga merupakan CEO dari Montbello Production. Dan beliau pernah juga bekerja di Pathé. Pathé ini adalah salah satu perusahaan film dan distributor film tertua dan terbesar di Prancis yang juga memiliki jaringan bioskop. Kalau kalian pernah ke Prancis mungkin atau ke Eropa, mungkin bisa melihat bioskopnya, biasanya namanya Cinema Pathé Gaumont. dan juga Pate juga memiliki jaringan televisi di Eropa. Karya terbaru beliau adalah serial TV Prancis berjudul OVNI, serial TV komedi gaya Prancis ini. Jadi komedinya Prancis agak berbeda mungkin ya kalau dengan komedinya Hollywood. Ini bercerita tentang seorang insinyur Prancis namanya kalau nggak salah itu Didier. Dia baru dipromosikan menjadi kepala dari kantor khusus untuk penyelidik UFO, Unidentified Flying Object. Nah, sebelum kita berbincang dengan beliau, mari kita saksikan terlebih dahulu trailer dari OVNI.
Tu connais le GEPAN, groupe d'études des phénomènes aérospatiaux non identifiés? Enfin, les OVNI, quoi. Tu prends la tête du GEPAN. Moi, j'y connais rien en OVNI.
Mais il existe vraiment ce bureau? Moi je croyais que c'était une blague.
Donc, il était comment, ce vaisseau?
L'invasion a déjà commencé?
Commandant Valérie Delbros, direction de la sécurité militaire. Arrêtez de poser des questions.
Et tu t'occupes des ovnis, toi, maman?
Le travail, c'est plus important que moi.
Eh ben, disons que...
J'ai pas bonjour.
Préparez-vous à être bousculé dans vos certitudes.
Bonjour François.
Bonjour. Hello.
Hello. I cannot hear your voice yet, so
Can you hear me?
wait just a minute. Now, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you too. Thank you.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's morning in Paris.
Yeah, it's afternoon here and it's a little bit cloudy. I hope it's not cloudy yet in Paris, but I can feel
It's very cloudy and very cold.
So winter is coming, as the Game of Thrones said.
Yes.
Okay, so I have only explained a little bit about yourself in the beginning in Indonesian language. So probably it will be nice if you could introduce yourself again to our audience today.
Yes. Well, I tried to guess what you were saying, so I recognize a few words. Well, I used to work for a big French company called Pathé, where I produced a number of films, including, as you said, Slumdog Millionnaire. And then I left the company a few years ago, and I wanted to produce for myself and also produce TV series more than films, which I had never done before. So I looked at many ideas and went to see broadcasters to find financing. And after a while, I came across this idea, which was from two young writers who were just finishing their tutoring at school. FEMIS, the French School of Cinema, and their project was actually this series UFOs already. It was different from what it became, but the essential was already there, which was the idea to do a TV series about this French bureau, which really existed and still exists, that is in charge of investigating on UFOs. And it was created at the end of the 70s. So the idea was to do something around that in a light comedy tone, but also a little fantastic. So when they started, actually, they had made something that was a lot more realistic, which was really, UFOs don't exist. And each episode you prove that a phenomenon is only an illusion and it's not a real UFO. But then as we worked on it, we discovered that it was a lot more interesting and fun to believe in UFOs, actually, and to believe that supernatural things could exist. As an hypothesis, you can believe or not, but at least play with that notion that it might be true. And that our hero, Didier, was a very rational guy. He's slowly going to open himself to beliefs and possibilities of the world, and both in his private life and understand better people around him, who for him are a little like aliens, and to understand the world also with a lot more open-mindedness.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see OVNI, actually, because here in Indonesia we are more accustomed to this kind of series talking about space or UFO from American production, but not from Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is very interesting to see it, and especially since you made it in a comedical way.
Yes, yes. I think it's very unusual in France to tackle these sort of stories. You know, it's definitely a lot more American, and mixing fantasy or fantastic and humor is also very unusual. So it's definitely it's a UFO of TV series in France. It's like nothing else.
Yes. Is it like the first TV series of UFO in France? Because I've never noticed that there are other TV series like this.
I think it is, yes. Yeah.
So I was kind of, when I saw Didier Mature, I was like imagining him as in Mulder at the X-Files. But of course, it's very different. He's very like you said, he's very logical, and he has his way, and the situation itself in 1970s in the era that very hype with the flower power generation, but then also people are still, like you said, finding something to believe there is other creatures than us out there. So is this also part of the reason why you create the story? Like I would just like to know, how did you end up shooting about this topic? Is there any particular reason besides the one that you already mentioned?
Not really. I think you mentioned X-Files, and X-Files was definitely a reference for the writers. But obviously, it became something very French and a lot less first degree, a lot less serious. No, I think we were just very keen to play with the situation of these people who are scientists inside a much larger organization, which is CNES, which is a company in France, the state company that takes care of rockets. Really, they are rocket scientists. And they are the one, sending the Ariane rocket in space and so on. And so you have this tiny office inside this big company of scientists, which deals with irrational things that people bring them, and people see things, and they need explanations. They see things in the sky that are not normal, not usual. And they want to believe that it might be something extraterrestrial, but they come there because they really need answers. They are scared, or they are questioned by what they saw, and they think, am I turning mad, or is it real? Is it rational? And this bureau at CNES has really an important role to play to provide answers. So, at first it was created really as with the hope to find something new for science that would come from a different planet, different part of the sky. And now it's a little more of something to coordinate information and to give answers to the public. But it's interesting because the United States have just announced that they are creating now the same kind of organization inside the Pentagon, inside the army.
I thought
yes.
you have one with the area.
Well, they had already something, but they have just announced creating a much bigger organization to deal with these paranormal phenomena.
All right. But this is also interesting to know that you said earlier that the office where Didier worked is really existing in France until today. So it's basically
until today, yeah, it's still existing in the same way. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So like from what I know from most of the films I know about this issue, there is always this area like the Area 51 to camp the UFO. Is there also something like that too?
We hope, but we have not. It's secret, so we don't know.
Or maybe in the next 10 years, the French government will reveal the secret.
Yes, it would be nice.
It would be nice. I wonder where it would be. Probably on the lake.
Yes.
Okay. Now about Didier itself, I found his character is very amusing and also. Well, it's a little bit silly to compare him with what's the name of the officer at the pink tiger, but it's his
Inspector Clouseau.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, but I kind of find him a little bit similar, but he's very logical, very smart, and paying attention to details too. And I was just like wondering, how did you and your writers come up with these characters that very interesting?
We wanted someone who was a real scientist and who would apply science to something that is not scientific. But we didn't want to start with someone who would make up stories or be a poet or a lunatic. We wanted someone very rational and follow him through his rational steps when he's faced with something that he cannot explain. And but being a scientist, he won't. Also, he will be open-minded. Being a scientist is, looking at events, facts of nature, and trying to understand that, and trying to prove or find laws or, find a rationality to things you can't explain at first. Electricity, for example, at first was a very strange thing. It was paranormal until it became a scientific fact and could be explained. So I think we are very respectful of his logic as a scientist. And we even have a consultant who's a great astronomer, astrophysician, Jean-Pierre Luminet, who was famous in his field, and is one of the men who discovered black holes back at the time of Didier. And we wanted him to read and help us, with some details and dialogues to make sure that Didier, as a scientist at this time, would have said those things in that way, so that it would be consistent. It wasn't so much to be exact to science, but to be consistent with a character who was a scientist at this time. Yes. And also we wanted someone who was a little bit, because he's so rational, he was a little bit unadapted to interpersonal relationship. Someone who was emotionally a little bit underdeveloped, intellectually very developed, and emotionally a bit handicapped with his family. His wife, his children, he doesn't really understand his children. They are very strange to him. They are the aliens to him, And you know, it happens a lot in life when people can be very, very good at something very, very serious, but not very good with people. So Didier is really not very good with people. He's very good with science, and discovering new things through science will help also him be better understanding people. You know, that's really his big movement through the series.
That it feels like he is also in a journey to go to this big movement, the big goals, to find also the meaning.
Yes.
Of relationship. This is why also it's interesting to see him with his I would like to call his Scooby-Doo gang, like all his friends.
Yes. Yes.
That always like it's like his inner circle, inner support for him.
Yes, we wanted, you know, around him this little group of people who are all of them a little strange because, you know, they are inside these bureaus, Japan, not by chance. They are there because either they believe in something or they had some problems and they ended up there. You know, it's not a place where people really want to go unless they believe in UFOs. So there are a motley bunch of, you know, there is a sort of ex-policeman, Marcel, who's a guy with, you know, he's a complotist. He believes that there's always the big conspiracies, conspiracies. So he always believes there is the army behind things, or, you know, there's some powers. But he's a rationalist. There is a young guy called Remy who believes in UFOs. He wants to find the proof that UFOs exist. And there is this young, lovely girl played by Daphne Patakia, who is a sort of, you know, she's a poetic brain. She believes anything is possible. So she's completely the opposite of Didier. But she's very connected to animals and people. She's completely emotional. So that, you know, it's a very interesting meeting of different minds, you know, inside this group.
Yeah, that's true. She's when you're saying about her, I felt that she's, like you said, she's very connected to animal and around her, and very kind of like having a lot of empathy towards surrounding, a very contradictive with Didier. That's so true. And then if I would like to ask you something like, in this character, in this gang of Didier and his friends, who would you represent yourself in the gang? Like, would you be Didier, or maybe?
I would definitely be Didier, yes. I didn't write him, but you know, I find myself very connected to Didier. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
With the good and the bad.
For the good and the bad. So
yes,
character represent you a lot.
Yes. Yes.
And is there any specific reason to set it in the 70s era? I understand that there are also other science series, for example, like Stranger Things, that very famous and set in the 80s. But now you're taking the 70s, which is very colorful, and I can see all the details, even the telephone, the vinyl, and yeah. So this is very interesting. And why did you set it at this?
Well, I would say at first because the Japan, so this bureau in charge of UFOs, was created at this time. So, you know, we took it from where it started, really. But also, the more it went, you know, the more we liked this the period for what you say, you know, which is costumes and details and the technology of the time, and it gave it, you know, some innocence and some charm of the past, because, you know, people couldn't send messages, or, you know, there was no things like that. So yeah, I think we become very, very keen on the period, you know, as a visual background for the story.
Yeah, I can see also the mood board that you created. You also create a sketch before you do the shots, and that's very detailing work. And I'm giving like a lot of applause for the art section.
Yes.
For doing such.
No, we had very good people actually. We shot in Belgium, which is around Brussels. It's really great for. To find buildings and places that look from the time, like the place where the main place where you see the offices and all that. That's the former headquarters of the TV in Belgium.
Oh.
And the place is just there empty, so you can use it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Houses as well, Didier's house is absolutely lovely, and we found it near Brussels, etc. And then we had a French guy to do the costumes. It requires a lot of skills. And we found someone in Belgium also for the computers of the time that still work, so it was fun to do.
Yeah, especially with the telephone that you dial up like that. I grew up with that. I wasn't born in the 70s yet, but I know that my grandparents have those at their home. So
I was born with it. Yeah.
Okay, and what was the biggest challenge while producing this series?
I think definitely the pink flamingos were a big challenge, because how would we do the pink flamingo? Well, it starts with pink flamingos falling from the sky, and then you have this pink flamingo wandering about. And so we looked at different options. We could have made it totally digital or mechanical or real. And in the end, it was a lot simpler and better looking to make it real, with real flamingo. Yes. Except when they fall from the sky, then they are digital.
Yeah. I was
Fortunately, we didn't kill any flamingos.
I'm glad to hear that.
They were very happy.
Okay.
So we had two flamingos, and brother and sister actually, who were born in a zoo, and we borrowed them from the zoo to play in the film. So they would come back and forth, to shoot, and they were very happy, and they are very, because they were born with people. They are very accustomed to people, and they are a little bit like cats. They walk around and come see you, and they are very, very gentle and absolutely lovely.
Were they cooperative? Because I heard that it's not recommended to work with animal and children.
Yes.
Yes,
that's what they say. And snow and water.
And snow too. Okay.
Yes. But look, actually the flamingos, we were really worried at first before we started, and it went absolutely fine. We had a great, animal wrangler, Pierre Cadéac, who's his work he does only that, it's animals for films. So and he's very good with birds in general. So it went fine, but it was a big challenge. Yeah. We also had the big challenge of the Inuit, the Eskimos,
yes.
On the planet, with their igloos. So we went in a very high place in France, where we actually built real igloos.
Oh, in the French Alps?
In the French Alps, yes.
Oh, wow. So that was like, I thought that was like in the studio, but it's not, apparently. Wow.
No. It was made for real in the French Alps at more than 2,000 meters high. in the winter. Yes, so we built it, and it was a very mild winter, so it melted. Actually, we had to build it twice because it was melting as we were building it. Although it was, it was in February in very high altitude. It was mild, yeah.
When you say mild winter, like how low is the temperature?
Well, mild is hovering around 0. It should have been -10 or at least -5, but it was more 0 to 5 degrees. Which is much too hot, yeah.
I see. Well, just to give you a comparison, François, here in Indonesia, we're already wearing jacket on 25 degrees. So we will be in the temperature of 0.
Well, you get used to it,
Yes, we're very tropical person, so I don't think
yes
will fit us good. But this is so the Igloo and the Inui was actually wow. You built the whole set for that.
Yes, yes, and we had to bring people up to that altitude. It's a big logistical organization, because you have to move people around so they don't get cold, and it's with snow bikes and stuff like that,
Right, and it's very impressive to hear that, and also about the 2 siblings of the pink flamingo. I mean, you said that they were like cats, but they are very big. I don't know whether they could be pet or.
Well, they are very fragile. The problem, the danger really is that they break a leg, because they have these long, thin legs, and if they break a leg, they die.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because they can't stand up anymore.
Yeah.
So we had to be very, very careful when moving them around, and driving very slowly, and that was. But it went very well, and they will be back actually in the second season.
Okay, now we have already questions, I think, in the chat. So let me just take a look on that. And there is actually one question. Okay, so there was one from there was one from Lucky. He was asking in Indonesian language. He was asking about the thinking process, which you already explained with the writers in the beginning, to get the imagination of making a series about UFO from France, and wondering about where it all began and the research with which you already kind of explained in the beginning. So probably what I would like to add to Lucky's question is that you're saying in the beginning that the writers, they are young writers and who has a reference from the X-Files. And I'm not sure if the audience here know what X-Files is. X-Files is, just to give a little bit of a general view, X-Files is a series in the 90s with 2 characters, Mulder and Scully. It's very famous, and in Indonesia you could only watch it if you have a cable TV at that time. So played by Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny. I still remember their name because I love that series.
Well done.
So yeah, so François was earlier. You were earlier mentioning that the writers have some reference from the X-Files. Probably there are also other reference that the writers do or get.
Well, a lot of references from comic books. Scooby-Doo, you said, that's a good reference. Also, even Tintin, because Marcel is a little bit like Haddock,
That's true. You think about it.
So it's a little bit of this mix of their readings when they were kids, and lots of comic books actually.
Okay, and there's also another question from Amelia Rosita. She was asking the biggest challenge, which you already explained, answer with the pink flamingos, and then her second question is, what is your opinion about correlation between idealism with the society trend demand?
Sorry, the correlation with
I think between the idealism and the society trend, so society demand. Your idealism in making this series, and then with also the demand of the public about what series that will sell out.
Yes. You know, it's very hard to say. When you make something, you don't really know what the public wants, or you can't really anticipate the expectations of the audience. First, it takes a long time to make. It was 3 years writing, 1 year making it. So it's almost 5 years from the idea to the public watching something. So, if I start something today, I don't know what the public will want in 5 years. I just make it because I like it. I find some connection to the material. I want to see that story. I want to see these characters, or it's really a personal connection to things. But if you start trying to anticipate what the audience is going to want in 5 years, I don't know what you do. I think that's impossible.
Yeah, but I think also OVNI represent, from what I saw in OVNI, is actually represent the series, the TV series about the topic, the UFO, that has been again brought up within the last 2 or 3 years with Stranger Things, and also there's also another series called that is more comedical, The Alien Resident, about this alien who tried to disguise as a person. So this is very interesting. When I think probably that's why the question arises, because in a lot of this kind of influence also. And
yeah, but these 3 series, for example, were probably started years ago, and they came up at the same time by chance, really. Because I did not know they were making this series. They didn't know I was making my series. It's probably because there was nothing on UFOs for aliens for a while, and some people thought at the same time it would be, it's a good subject. It's interesting, and people might like it. So let's do it. But really, it takes too long, really, to make a plan.
Yeah.
In fact.
Yeah, I agree with you. So the series itself, when did you do the production? Like, was it like in the middle of pandemic, or like continuous?
Well, it's a good question. No, we were lucky because we shot it before the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
In 2019. Then during the pandemic, we were editing and and doing the VFX, digital effects, and all those things. All the finishing, in fact. So that was in 2020, and it was broadcast for the first time at the beginning of 2021.
Oh.
And this year we have shot during the summer the 2nd season.
So there is a 2nd season.
So there is a 2nd season, yes.
Cool.
Coming. So we wrote during the pandemic. Actually, we finished season 1. Writers started writing season 2, and we shot season 2 during the last summer, 2021, and it will be broadcast in France at the beginning of 2022.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So, like in a couple of months, that we can see the 2nd season.
Yeah, about 3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
So we are just finishing now, editing and digital effects and all those things.
Awesome. So I hope that here in Indonesia, we could also see it in Mola TV for the OVNI.
I would be very happy.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Hopefully that will happen. Okay. Now there's also another question from Carol. She was saying that now that you have tried producing both movies and TV series, what are the big differences that you have discovered between working on those two?
Yes, I think that the practical thing is more or less the same. You know, the way you shoot and the way you put a team together, all that, the practical aspects are very much alike. What's very different is the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
The film obviously lasts 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. TV series, you know, it's 12 episodes and second season, and it can go on and on. So you have a different way to approach the story. You know, it's open-ended with a TV series, and I think people love. You know, you can love films and series, obviously, but it's a different experience for the viewer. I think for a film, you are immersed in the film, and you know, when you watch it and you go out and you have had the full experience. For a TV series, you get really the familiarity with the characters, and the characters become a little bit like your friends and family, you know, and you want to see them again. That's when a series is good, it's because you want more. You want to know more of the characters, spend more time with them. You know, whether they are nice people or not, but it's, you know, you are involved with the characters for possibly a long time, you know. So that means the writing is quite different. You know, you need to let people discover the characters over time, and also there is the fact that, you know, each episode needs to have its own structure and needs to have an ending. You know, what we call the cliffhanger there, which makes you want to see the next episode, and that's also very, you know, special to series.
Yeah, I think so too. In series, I think you have to invest your emotional relation, and you have to feel for the characters for you to basically invest your time to watch for the next season. And this is something that's interesting from the audience part. As from the team who produce it, it's also like a kind of hooray, we will see our family again in the set. So
yes,
that kind of feeling.
Yes. No, it's very nice when you start the second season, because all the main people, you know, get back together, and it's a very different feeling, and you get together for a long time as well. You know,
that's true.
A season, it's more than 80 days of shooting, so it's a long time.
80 days, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's another question from Jade Granier. What was your favorite sets among them, or maybe favorite scene? For me, I think it will be the one with the David Bowie Stardust guy.
Yes, that's a good one. I like the one also with the sphere in the woods. You know, the disco sphere in the woods.
Yeah,
I think that's really beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I think that can also be an inspiration during the pandemic time to have a rave party in the wood with the disco.
Yes.
Yeah, the series could actually inspire to do that. Okay, and then there's also another question. Have you been so yes, will there be any second season? Yulia, we just already answered that. And have you ever been interested in producing a project that will take place in Indonesia?
I'd love to come to Indonesia. I'd love to do something in Indonesia, but you know, I don't think I want to do something in Indonesia, and therefore I'm going to find a story that takes place in Indonesia. You know, I find a story, and then if it happens to be in Indonesia, or there are a reason to make it in part in Indonesia, I would do it, you know, but I don't start from the place, I start from the story.
Okay, that's good. I mean, just for your information, we have a recent film about how the people, the American faked the landing on the moon, and it was actually based in Indonesia. The film was made actually by a good friend of mine, the science of fiction. Maybe it will hit the French theater soon at the earlier next year, because
okay, good.
Oh yeah, so maybe that could be something.
Yes.
Okay. Now there's also another questions about the monopoly of American content and creation about the UFO. And the series, and then there's a French TV series that talking about this. Do you also would like to, give another option to the audience? Just, not only to watch Hollywood production, but also French production?
Yes, you can only give options, so you can't really think of, the Americans do it, I want to do it, or, you do it because you want to and you like it, or but I don't think there is a monopoly on stories. It's you tell the stories you want to tell. That's all. Yeah.
I agree. You tell the stories that you want to tell and make something from your heart. That's really agree.
Yeah.
So, there's another one from Udin. Which one is more profitable in terms of revenue? Is it film or series?
It's a good question. Look, at the moment, I think it is series.
Yes, at the moment, I think it's also series, especially in times like this.
Yes, I think, there is a demand for series. There are a lot of many new players, platforms, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, HBO, etc. So because there is demand, there is money. So yeah, I think it's certainly a better place to be making series and films at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also there's another question from Fitri. She said that how is actually to, from your point of view, how to introduce a series or French cinema for young Indonesian, because usually here in Indonesia, we're not very accustomed to a European film. Sometimes we have French film, like maybe once in the cinema, or maybe, but very, very rare. So from your point of view, how to introduce French film, especially towards Indonesian audience?
I don't know, because, no, I don't know, because honestly, I don't know what the young Indonesian audience wants or what they watch, or, maybe it should be, I don't know. No, actually, I don't know. No idea. I would need to know what they watch and think, well, if they watch this, might they watch that, or but I can't really I can't guess.
Okay, well, just to let you know, an Indonesian audience usually love horrors movie or thrillers, so probably that could be something.
Yes, it's something we don't do much in France. There is some now, genre cinema. Yes, but obviously, it's something Americans are very good at, and it's something we should probably do more to give them a taste of French actors, and to get used to it.
Yeah, genre films. But usually, if it's also a genre film from European film industry, it's going to be very mind blowing, because I think the European film industry also have a different perspective in taking the direction into filmmaking. If it's like a genre film, maybe about what scares you the most, like not only from the ghost part, but from other mental so that's something to develop, I think.
Okay.
And there's another question. Well, we have a lot of questions still for you, but we're probably going to announce the winner soon because it's almost 1 hour. So yeah, the question is, how do you as a producer promote your TV series and convince the public to watch it?
In France, at least, there was a lot of billboards in the tube and the streets and so on. But the most important now is like for everything else. It's social networks. It's what happens on Instagram and Facebook and so on, and Twitter, and so we try to push that, obviously, but it's not really something you can command. It's something that people who want to talk about it talk about. It's also each actors having their followers, and so it's a lot about social network.
Mm. So you're using also the social media activation for promoting all the...
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. And there's also another question. What is your favorite sci-fi movie?
Well, it's probably the first Alien, because it's very scary. I really think it's one of the very few films that really made me scared.
The Ridley Scott, the first one.
The first one, yes.
Yes.
That was, yeah. I saw it when it was released at the time. That was really amazing. Yeah, very scary.
Yeah, I mean the alien itself. It's just the monster itself is just wow.
You don't see, you see it very little and very late, and that's what's amazing in this film, is that you are scared of something you don't see, and that's really the genius of it. Yeah.
I believe when you say that you are scared of something that you don't see, this is something that probably also become a base of why the UFO has been keep on talking about, because no one has been really seeing.
Yes, it's definitely the magic of it, is that you almost see it, or you get a glimpse, but it remains mysterious because you never really see it, never really touch it, but it might be, and I think that's what keeps that keeps the mystery going. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. And also another question is just wondering whether you're going to make a war movie like Saving Private Ryan or 1979. Yeah.
Well, I would like to, but no, I don't have any project of this kind, unfortunately.
So what kind of film that you still have in your bucket list that you would like to make?
I would like to make probably I would like to make something in the French 18th century. Because it looks absolutely fantastic, gorgeous, and so on. So yeah, there's something there. Would like to do something in the 50s, late 50s, a little bit like the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel sort of thing, which I like a lot. Contemporary stories otherwise, yeah. But those two periods I like very much. Yeah.
So you would like to make something in the 18th centuries of France, and then also in the 50s?
Yes.
Well, now I'm looking forward for you to see that. That's going to be amazing.
Well, you'll have to wait a couple of years at least, unfortunately. Okay, I understand. But how is the situation in French cinema? You said that you guys have done the shooting for the second season this year. Yes, I think series are doing very well in France, like everywhere else. There is a lot of things shooting. It's very busy. Cinema is more difficult because, like everywhere else, theaters are in trouble. So there is less money going to film than more money going to series. But therefore there is a lot of creativity in series. So I think it's it's fine. Every producer can go from making films to making series or vice versa. So I don't think we are, you know, we are not in trouble. Definitely, we are. You know, I think we are in a very good place. Being very lucky to have so much demand for TV series.
Yeah. So when you said that it is easier for TV series production, does it mean also you have to apply some kind of health protocols while doing the shooting?
You are talking about the sanitary, the health situation, the COVID.
Yeah. Is there any kind of requirements? Because here in Indonesia, when you do shooting films, you have to follow a lot of health protocols like the PCR, the tests.
Yes. Yes, there are protocols. Also, there is no insurance in case of problem due to COVID. It's not insurance covered.
Okay.
There is a fund that can protect you in case of big trouble. So, but you know, as a producer, you are. I mean, it's quite scary actually, because if you have a problem, the insurance are not going to come in, and so you have to deal with your problem. So, you know, there are some requirements, but mostly you pay a lot of attention and you are very careful because you don't want to be in trouble. Because if you have trouble, it's big trouble. Because you know, even if people are just not very ill but are just positive, and you have to stop shooting, then you know it's a lot of trouble, because you are going to lose some actors who have other films to shoot. You are going to lose some people. You are going to lose some of the sets where you shoot. So you really, you know, we were very careful with testing and everything.
Yeah. That's what we have to do while living in the hard times like this. And I hope that this is going to end soon, but apparently not with the virus.
I'm not sure. Yes.
Yeah, here in Indonesia, it's also impossible, because like we still have the regulation of having a quarantine 7 days when you arrive from abroad. So now,
Yes.
especially with the new virus coming in, so I'm just going to pray for the best.
That's all we can do. Yes.
Yeah, that's
and get vaccinated.
Yeah, or probably or probably do the disco in the wood like what in OVNI. So I think we have already covered everything, and now this is about the time to announce the winner for today, and the best question goes to Lucky and Udin.
Okay.
Congratulations, Lucky and Udin. Later on, the team from IFI will contact you guys for the prizes. So, François, thank you so much for this good talk.
It was a pleasure. No, very good question. Thank you, everybody. It was really great to be able to explain, and I hope you like it and you like the second season even more.
Yes, and I hope that we can see second season here in Indonesia, hopefully soon.
I think so. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, François, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So yes, everybody, that was François Ivernel. We are so happy to have him, and that was a very good chat with him. And he's the producer of the OVNI. As he said earlier, that we will have the second season. I cannot wait to see how Didier and his Scooby-Doo gang fighting more pink flamingo. I don't know what will they fight in the second season. Let's just see what will happen in the second season. I hope that the Mona TV, I'm going to nudge the Mona TV to bring the season here to Indonesia. Terima kasih banyak. Kenapa saya masih ngomong bahasa Inggris? Terima kasih banyak buat semua penonton di Festival Sinema Prancis. Untuk Lucky dan Udin bisa nanti akan dihubungi oleh tim kami. Dan sebelumnya tadi kita lupa foto ya. semoga sudah difoto oleh timnya IVI. Saya ingin mengingatkan juga bahwa masih ada acara dari IVI lainnya, jadi follow dan pantau terus social media account IVI dan juga websitenya untuk update-update terkini. Lalu saya juga ingin berterima kasih kepada semua penonton yang sudah menikmati Festival Sinema Prancis tahun ini, Festival Sinema Prancis 2021. Semoga kita bisa bertemu lagi tahun depan. Dan saya yakin akan ada Festival Sinema Prancis 2022. Saya langsung nodong aja ke IVI. Ada ini ya, pasti ada ya Festival Sinema Prancis 2022. Mungkin nanti kapannya semoga bisa dilaksanakan di lebih cepat, tidak di akhir tahun, di pertengahan tahun. Karena dulu biasanya Festival Sinema Prancis diadakan bersamaan dengan Festival musim panas, Printemps Français. Jadi semoga bisa kembali seperti awal, semoga bisa diadakan festivalnya juga secara hybrid kalau tidak memungkinkan fully offline. Dan waduh, saya ini banyak sekali. Terima kasih semuanya untuk sudah bergabung bersama kami, bersama saya juga, dan semoga kita bisa again, walaupun Festival Sinema Prancis sudah berakhir, jangan lupa untuk terus menonton film-film Prancis, terutama atau film-film Eropa lainnya, karena akan lebih memperkaya hidup kalian. Jadi kalian juga bisa tahu. Kalau kalian pencinta film seperti saya, jangan hanya menonton film-film yang ada di bioskop, tapi juga cari film-film lain yang, aduh bosan nonton film negara Amerika, saya mau nonton negara film yang lain. Nah, itu sangat baik buat memperluas wawasan kalian juga dan memperluas pengetahuan film kalian. Oke, saya Melina Putri Wismurti, kurator dan film publicist, selaku moderator acara penutupan Festival Sinema Prancis 2021, undur diri. Sampai bertemu di Festival Sinema Prancis 2022, yang tadi saya bilang sudah sedikit nudge, rencananya akan diadakan lebih cepat dari tahun ini. A bientôt et viva le cinéma! Ciao!
Tu connais le GEPAN, groupe d'études des phénomènes aérospatiaux non identifiés? Enfin, les OVNI, quoi. Tu prends la tête du GEPAN.
Moi, j'y connais rien en OVNI.
Mais il existe vraiment ce bureau? Moi je croyais que c'était une blague.
Donc, il était comment, ce vaisseau? L'invasion a déjà commencé?
Commandant Valérie Delbros, direction de la sécurité militaire. Arrêtez de poser des questions.
Et tu t'occupes des ovnis toi, maman?
Le travail, c'est plus important que moi.
Eh ben, disons que...
J'ai pas bonjour.
Préparez-vous à être bousculé dans vos certitudes.